Imagine a civilization so advanced that their astronomers predicted eclipses with stunning accuracy. A people who built towering cities in the heart of a dense, unforgiving jungle. And artists who created masterpieces in stone, jade, and clay. This wasn't a science fiction story. This was the reality of the Maya, one of the most brilliant and enigmatic cultures of the ancient world. For over 2 millennia, they didn't just survive in the challenging landscapes of Central America. They thrived, creating a complex society that, even in its ruins, continues to mesmerize us today. How did they achieve such greatness? And more hauntingly, what led to the sudden mysterious collapse of their powerful city-states? Join us as we journey back in time to unravel the epic story of the rise and fall of the Mayan civilization. Let's start at the beginning. The story of the Maya isn't a short one. It stretches from around 2000 BC all the way to the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century. Historians divide this vast timeline into 3 main periods: the pre-classic, the classic, and the post-classic. The pre-classic period from 2000 BC to 250 AD was the formative era. This is when the Maya began to transition from nomadic hunter-gatherer groups into settled agricultural communities. They learned to cultivate maize, beans, and squash, the 3 sisters of Mesoamerican agriculture. This stable food source allowed them to build permanent villages, which slowly grew into the first Mayan cities. It was during this time that the foundations of their unique culture, religion, and social structure were laid. Early forms of their writing system and the complex calendar they're famous for began to take shape. Think of this as the quiet, steady growth of a giant tree, its roots digging deep into the fertile soil of tradition and innovation. Then came the Classic period. From roughly 250 to 900 AD, this was the golden age of the Maya. The seeds planted in the pre-classic period blossomed into a spectacular civilization. The Maya weren't a unified empire like the Romans or the Incas. Instead, their political landscape was a network of powerful city-states, each ruled by a divine king or Jah. Cities like Tikal in modern-day Guatemala, Calakmul in Mexico, and Copan in Honduras became sprawling metropolises. Imagine walking through one of these cities in its prime. You'd see massive stone pyramids, some soaring over 200 feet high, serving as temples to their gods and tombs for their kings. The air would be filled with the sounds of a bustling marketplace, chanting of priests, and the thud of a rubber ball in the sacred ball court, a game with deep ritual significance. The city centers were feats of engineering with grand plazas, palaces and observatories all meticulously planned and constructed without the use of metal tools, wheels, or beasts of burden. What really set the classic Maya apart was their intellectual prowess. They were, without a doubt, the intellectuals of ancient Mesoamerica. Their understanding of mathematics and astronomy was simply breathtaking. They developed the concept of zero independently, a feat achieved by very few cultures in history. This allowed them to perform complex calculations and create calendars of astonishing precision. They had the Hab, a 365-day solar calendar much like our own. But they also used the Tzolk'in, a 260-day sacred calendar. These 2 calendars were interwoven to form the calendar round, a 52-year cycle. But they didn't stop there. They also had the long count calendar, which tracked time over vast, epic spans, allowing them to record historical events with incredible accuracy. Their astronomers tracked the movements of the sun, the moon, Venus, and the stars from dedicated observatories, enabling them to predict solar and lunar eclipses. And then there's their writing. The Maya developed the most sophisticated and fully developed writing system in the pre-Columbian Americas. It was a complex system of over 800 hieroglyphic symbols, or glyphs. Some glyphs represented whole words, while others represented phonetic syllables. For centuries, these glyphs were a complete mystery to scholars. But thanks to decades of painstaking work by epigraphers, we can now read a significant portion of their inscriptions. What do they tell us? They tell stories of royal dynasties, of births, accessions to the throne, and deaths. They record epic battles between rival city-states, diplomatic alliances, and religious rituals. They carved these histories onto stone monuments called stelae, painted them on pottery, and wrote them in books made of fig bark paper called codices. Tragically, most of these codices were destroyed during the Spanish conquest. But the few that survived, along with the stone inscriptions, have given us an intimate look into the Mayan world, transforming our understanding from pure archaeology to living history. But as the classic period neared its end, the vibrant rhythm of Mayan life began to falter. Around 900 AD, something went terribly wrong. The southern lowlands, the heartland of the classic Maya, the great cities began to be abandoned. The construction of monuments and temples ceased. The intricate dance of politics, warfare, and ritual that had defined the era came to a grinding halt. One by one, the magnificent cities of Tikal, Palenque, and Copan fell silent, their grand plazas and pyramids slowly being reclaimed by the jungle. This event is what archaeologists call the classic Maya collapse. It's one of history's great mysteries, and there isn't a single simple answer. Instead, it seems to have been a perfect storm of multiple interconnected factors. One of the leading theories points to severe and prolonged drought. The Mayan civilization was heavily dependent on agriculture, which in turn relied on consistent rainfall. Scientific analysis of lake bed sediments and cave formations has revealed evidence of several major droughts hitting the region at the end of the classic period. Less rain meant crop failures, which led to famine and malnutrition. This would have placed immense strain on the population and eroded the people's faith in their divine kings, who were believed to be able to intercede with the gods to ensure bountiful harvests. Another crucial factor was endemic warfare. While warfare had always been a part of Mayan life, evidence suggests it became more intense and destructive towards the end of the classic period. Inscriptions from this time speak of devastating conflicts between major powers like Tikal and Calakmul. This constant state of war would have disrupted trade routes, destroyed farmland, and drained resources. It likely led to a breakdown in the political order, with alliances shifting and city-states turning against one another in a desperate struggle for survival. Internal social and political strife also played a role. The Mayan elite, the kings and nobles, lived lives of luxury, supported by the labor of the common farmers. As resources became scarcer due to drought and war, the demands placed on the commoners may have become unbearable. Some scholars believe that this could have led to peasant revolts and civil unrest, further destabilizing the already fragile city-states. It's a complex puzzle, but the most likely scenario is that a combination of environmental catastrophe, political breakdown, and intense warfare created a domino effect that brought the great classic Maya cities to their knees. But here is a crucial point. The collapse of the classic period cities was not the end of the Mayan people. It was a transformation, a shift. The southern lowlands were largely abandoned. Mayan civilization continued to flourish in other areas, particularly in the northern Yucatan Peninsula. This is the post-classic period. Cities like Chichen Itza and later Miopan rose to prominence. Chichen Itza, one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world, showcases a fascinating blend of classic Maya styles with influences from other Mesoamerican cultures. The iconic pyramid, El Castillo, is a testament to their enduring architectural and astronomical genius, perfectly aligned to create a serpent-like shadow during the spring and autumn equinoxes. The post-classic Maya were more focused on sea trade and had a more decentralized political structure. Their story continued right up until the Spanish arrived, bringing with them new diseases and a new kind of warfare that would ultimately bring an end to the last independent Maya kingdom in 1697. Even then, the Maya did not disappear. Today, more than 6 million Maya people live in their ancestral homelands in Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. They speak various Mayan languages, practice a blend of traditional beliefs and Catholicism, and continue many of the cultural traditions of their ancestors, from weaving intricate textiles to practicing traditional farming methods. They are the living legacy of this incredible civilization, a vibrant and resilient people who carry the spirit of the pyramid builders and stargazers within them. The story of the Maya isn't just one of a lost civilization. It's a story of incredible achievement, profound mystery, and remarkable endurance that continues to this day. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the history of the Maya. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history. Want to let us know in the comments which ancient civilization you'd like us to explore next.